And with that,
welcome to the No Hangover podcast. As always, you can find us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, Google Play. Check us out on YouTube for the visuals.
see our beautiful faces.
I think that's the main one.
Follow us on Instagram at No Hangover Podcast. Follow us on TikTok.
Boom.
No_.
We're on there.
Hangover.
Appreciate everybody showing love right away without an announcement or anything.
TikTok. Bro, TikTok's the wave.
TikTok is pretty cool, man.
I'm not on TikTok, so I don't really know
You'd
much
like it.
about
We're all on TikTok.
Well, yeah, we are, but individually.
You should download. It's pretty cool.
Tiki-toki.
It's another thing to waste your time on, but
I like the reels
Hours.
on Instagram, but it's the same.
It's better.
shit. It's better.
it's better.
Damn.
You can learn some shit on TikTok.
You learn a lot.
I literally usually just watch TikTok videos, though, on Instagram, so it's like, they're one and the same to me.
I mean, yeah, they all fucking circulate.
But, yes, we are on all platforms.
Boom.
Well, most platforms.
Almost, yeah.
We're going
false
It's
advertise
like,
over here. Boost up fucking
Boost my numbers.
expectations.
Get my numbers up. Get the followers up.
Sure. Well, if we're not on those platforms, then they can't fucking. There's no
Not
numbers
yet.
getting put up.
Not yet.
Boom.
Things coming. Things coming.
Big things coming. What was that song by T.I.? Big things popping and little things
stopping.
They used that shit for Sports Center fucking
Yeah.
for that competition or whatever. Was it? No, it was. They used that for something else. But what was it like in like 2006 where they just took a whole bunch of athletes and like they were doing like they would pit them against each other virtually again. Like they would use their statistics and accolades and all this shit. And it's like, damn, what the fuck?
Rocky made that's like the plot to Rocky Balboa. Have you ever seen Rocky Balboa?
Yeah,
The
new one.
Like 05.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Rocky Balboa. Yeah,
Rocky Balboa.
mm-hmm.
Have you seen? That's basically the plot. Like they take Muhammad Ali or Tyson, one of the two, and they video game created
I have to look that
versus
up.
Rocky, like who would win, and that's what inspires Rocky. And he gets back in the gym and he's like, "Oh, Adrian."
Fucking
One of the best
Sylvester
scenes
Stallone.
in a sports movie is in that scene with Jack from This Is Us, who's his son, when he has the scene outside the bar, and he tells him like, you know, it's not how hard you can get hit, or it's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving.
Yeah,
That famous scene.
good old fucking Rocky.
Rocky 1 is fantastic.
Words of wisdom.
And I mean,
They're not bad.
Sylvester
movies.
Stallone is a fucking. He don't peg him as a writer, but
He got nominated for an
yeah,
Oscar.
he's a great writer. He writes most of the movies that he's in,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a big, just big burly guy being fucking.
He's the Italian
buff and
stallion,
shit,
man.
and he'll write you some shit too.
I don't even think he's Italian, but
Close enough.
He's been saying it for years. He's the fucking Italian stallion.
as far as I'm concerned, he's the most Philadelphian Italian dude I've ever seen.
Shit, he's got a fucking statue. Make believe guy.
Yeah, I remember before the Eagles won, they were like, you know how bad Philadelphia is in search of a championship? They have a
That shit is
statue of
fucking
of a
wild.
fictional character on
Real
the Liberty
shit.
Steps. It's not the
Real
Liberty
shit.
Steps. It's like the town Philadelphia.
Yeah, whatever the stairs he ran up.
It's not Liberty Hall where they signed the Declaration. That would be
Wild.
bad. It's like this is where Ben Franklin wrote his notes, and
He's a fucking
Here's
founding
Rocky.
father of Philly, I guess. Fuck.
He signed the Declaration.
And we have kind of, this is not really green. I mean, kind of back in the day, the Kelly green, closer to that color.
Mm-hmm. And we have a boxer.
Boom.
There you go. So it all comes
The
back.
greatest boxer.
Well, fuck, we might as well get
Off
into
topic as a motherfucker,
Hey,
though.
but it all made sense.
It
It all
is.
made sense. Speaking of someone else, though, Kanye West just put out yep, he's right here, too. See? It all ties
Look
in.
at that.
But he just, he's put out his trilogy on Netflix.
Part 1.
Part 1. There's 3 parts. They're going to be put out weekly. And it's pretty much just chronicling his career.
His
Started from the bottom, now we here.
career, little background on his life and how he got to this point.
Yeah, so let's give a little background on the documentary. Directed by Cudi and Chike, two of Chicago's own. Kanye's not childhood friend, but good friends from when he was younger.
From when he started, pretty much from, because he was doing his own thing, but then he saw that Kanye was doing shit. And
the documentary starts 1998, Jermaine Dupri's birthday party, and you see Harlem World, Mace, and a young producer who they're introducing him to named Kanye West. And
It was like the second time they had met or something.
I think it was the first time they had met.
I thought he met at in the documentary he had met Kanye at his house. I thought that was before that interview.
No, the one where he's at the house is 2000, 2 years later. When he has cornrows.
Yeah.
And the jersey.
Yeah.
Or not the jersey, the blue leather jacket and the nice watch.
Not when he did like the freestyle or like before the freestyle, but
regardless.
Yeah, either way, it's about his life.
And it covers it covers 1998, and part 1 ends in 2003. So right before his first album drops.
He just got signed at the end of.
Spoilers: Kanye does get signed.
Like we did.
It does work out for.
Worked out pretty well, I think. But yeah. I mean, what are your overall thoughts on the first part of the documentary?
I have a hot take.
Go ahead.
It's gonna be the greatest documentary of all time.
Oh, well, I mean, coming from you, that's not really a hot take.
No, not really.
Part 1, like...
I mean, it's really good. Like, the documentary is really good, and it definitely gives you
It highlights
a more appreciation for, for as great as he is and whatever you want to think about him, that, he was just like everyone else, just trying to get his shit heard, trying to get his shit across, trying to get his word out. And he was hustling for it, and, that just goes to show you, even if you're the greatest, you got to convince people of that as well. So
no, I thought that was a really good part of what it documented, that, like, he was struggling, like, he had nothing. They're all cracking on him when they open his fridge. Mm-hmm. He had literally, like, not even a bottle of water in there.
He had peas.
Yeah. And they're like, oh,
a fucking bottle of mustard.
And they're fucking with him, like, oh, Kanye's on a diet. And it's just like, nah, he was just hustling that hard, like, there was nothing in the fridge type shit.
I mean, he's selling beats for $40 to $50 in Chicago when he's talking about
he's giving people beats just to, keep putting work out. And
imagine just Kanye giving out beats.
Just here you go, man, take them.
And then he's thinking, like, how good his beats are, but he's also, like, making them to rap on himself. And he's just, everyone and just asking him, hey, can you just make me a beat? Oh, will you listen to this? They're like, nah, can you just make me a beat? Like, no one wanted to hear him, they just... We're like, nah, you're giving us good beats. Come on, keep them coming.
That's when he walks into the try and get signed, and they bum rush Def Jam and where Rockefeller is, and they're going through. I mean, G. Roberson is in there, Biggs Burke is in there. They got somebody like there's a lot of
heavy hitters,
important executives. Like you might not know, but as fans of music, we know who these people are. G. Roberson manages Drake now. Like he's pretty famous,
he's big time.
Yeah. But he's going in there and he literally has the demo of All Falls Down, and he's going office to office, putting it in CD players and press and play, and people are
rapping in front of him.
And people are just like, all right, and then
pushing him to the side.
Somebody walks in and they like,
they just kind of, all right, well, next thing, I mean, it goes to show, man, you gotta fucking, if you believe in your shit, you gotta believe it wholeheartedly.
And then when he's like walking out of the building and the guy's like, he goes, I love the beats, man. Can I get a couple, man? And he's just like.
Yeah.
Bro, like I'm here.
Who was it? Ghostface Killer fucking turned down
Scarface.
That's who it was. Turned down
Jesus Walks.
And he said,
but
turn that shit off.
He wanted to, yeah.
Well, no, he said that shit is too crazy.
He's like, I don't even know how to rap on that right now. He goes, you got anything else? And he plays him Family Business, one of my all-time favorite Kanye songs. And he's like, you got a verse to this? And he's like, yeah, but it's not laid yet. And he goes, I want to hear your verse.
And he started rapping in front of him.
It's incredible, man.
Pretty hard shit.
I mean,
but yeah, Jesus Walks was definitely like, and even in the booth and shit, Scarface is just like kind of jamming. Kanye's just fucking like,
because Kanye knows what it is.
He's like, this is fucking crazy, and people are like, we've never heard something like this before.
It just goes to
he was changing music.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show like. People can talk like how cocky and arrogant he is, like that you've heard that comment made about him before. Like he's very like.
Never heard that comment in my life.
People will be like, I don't like him because he's so cocky, he's so arrogant.
I mean, that's usually what most people say if they don't like him.
But like you see, like I mean, he is before he's anything. He's sitting there and he's like, my album's gonna change music. Like the shit I'm talking about. He's like, I'm not saying I can't fail, but I'm not going to.
He's like I refuse to fail.
Yeah.
He knew his shit was like that crazy that it was just a matter of time. He just keep having to put in the work.
And think about
he saw like the light at the end of the tunnel. He was just like, how am I going to get there? And grinded until he got there.
From his perspective, he's like, I have the college dropout. Like, and nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah.
So now when he's on to like the Donda School, or he's like wanted in 2010 when he was like really wanted to start his own fashion line and stuff like that, and people were like, no, like knock it off, you're Kanye West the rapper.
Yeah,
like that's why he's like, none of y'all wanted to hear me rap. Like,
he was like, I started as a producer.
Yeah, like,
and he would even say it like, oh, when that was a cool part of the documentary as well. He was like, one day they're gonna be like, oh, you remember Kanye was just making beats?
Yeah,
that shit was cool. That was tough
because he started out just making beats.
But
he's running through the most prophetic part where I was like, it like stopped me in my tracks kind of was when he gets to the Chicago radio service thing, and they have his name on the flyer, like people who are speaking throughout the thing.
Oh, it's just Kanye.
And he says Kanye, and he goes, I told him my name was Kanye West. He goes, and then he like stops himself and he's like, I'm the only type to complain about some good things going on. He goes, that's kind of what you want though, right? You want to be famous where he could just be like Kanye. Yeah. He goes, next time it'll just be Chicago's own. Yay.
Yeah.
And that's when he's in the hotel room. Yeah. It's wild. I mean, you get to see where a lot of shit is birthed, and that he was, like you said, I mean, that we've been harping on that, you know, a lot of the shit that he's been saying it. Like, you know, it's been the same him from the jump, from the beginning.
And the fashion thing was always him. Like, you see, like, even with, like, no money, like, he's just...
He's trying.
He's fly. Like,
faking it until you make it.
Well, he wasn't even... Well...
But he's, like, got dad hats 10 years before they're cool, and polo sport hoodies, and, like... Just a fly.
He's ahead of the game. I mean... Been saying it. He's 2-3 steps ahead of everything. He knows what the fuck he wants, and he's gonna go do it and getting it. And you don't have to like his antics and shit, but the man is a fucking musical genius, and he does make. He might
be
more
of a musical genius at this point, based on everything he's done.
He fucking makes great music. But the documentary is really good. It gives you a lot of fucking behind the scenes shit. I'm looking forward to like the part 2, which I feel like is gonna be more of the chunk of like where his music starts popping off and shit, and when we get college dropout, like late resignation or registration and fucking graduation and all that, and when he starts really fucking getting the fucking meat of his music career and all the features and his superstardom and all that shit. So I definitely feel like that's gonna be the more interesting part.
There's gonna be the highs and
the lows.
I feel like they're gonna show. I mean, they kind of foreshadowed it for sure. At the very end about like the car accident and stuff. Yeah. They're going to go through that.
Yeah, the car crash is going to be first.
They're going to go through that. They'll go through, I don't think it'll be on the second,
Through the Wire's got to happen. Like a lot of shit's got to happen. Unfortunately, I think part 2 is going to be the tearjerker.
Yeah, I mean, that's like I said, it's going to be the meat of, I feel that's going to be the meat. I won't be surprised if it's like 2 hours long, 2.5 hours long.
Because he says in the part 1 it's 7.5, he says it's 7.5 hour documentary.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it's going to end up being that long.
It won't, but the first part is an hour and a half. So you have to imagine the next 2, like, there's still a lot of shit that they got to cover because it was pretty...
He doesn't have an album
yeah, yet. So it's like, this was just him getting signed to Rockefeller. So, like, there's a lot more shit that's going to go on.
It's going to go 3 hours and 3 hours.
I wonder how deep, like, how recent the documentary is going to go, though.
I mean, 2020 is how it starts. He's in the Dominican Republic with
them. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Fuck.
I mean, he's
talking about running for president.
Chike, I guess Cootie was with him up until like, I believe Donda came out. Like, I think it's like as up to date as you're gonna.
Shit.
They probably have enough footage to do like.
Oh yeah, they could probably
10 parts of this.
Yeah, they probably got years of footage.
That's what I got 2 things.
Because you have to imagine how much they fucking cut out.
2 things that I wanted to hit on. What you were just saying. Me and Jacob were talking about this, like how impressive it is for a documentary to not have testimonials.
Yeah.
Like, it never cuts to someone sitting in a chair with a camera on him going, I knew he was going to make it, man. And then just telling a story with, like, photographs kind of filling in the blanks.
No, they just got straight dialogue.
It's just footage. Like, it's raw footage of, like...
Well, when they make it, though, they say that this is for a documentary. Like, we are documenting this shit. So, they keep, like, they have that conscious in their head when they're talking that he's giving, like, although it is authentic and genuine, like when the cameras are on, you know what the fuck is going on.
I meant more that you just had all that footage.
Yeah, yeah. They put time and effort into that shit.
Well, in the documentary too of them saying it, like it was on Faith, his friend or Cootie being like, "I'm gonna follow this guy."
Yeah. He quits his career.
He's like, he's got something about him. And then I thought it was pretty cool too. It showed like his background, like his family, and they all were.
I did like that.
They were all, photographer, film what is that called?
Cinematographers.
There we
You
go.
gonna say filmology?
You could have
No.
said photographers. Like, they have cameras and stuff.
Yeah, but I meant for like them recording and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty cool because it showed his background too. And then the coolest part for me, what was your favorite part? Well, I'm gonna ask you first. What was your favorite part of that?
I think we all have the
part
same
one.
favorite part.
My favorite part? Shit, I don't know. I didn't really think about that. I mean, when I was watching, I wasn't really watching it because I already know what the second part is gonna come. So that's gonna be my favorite part. So I'm just kind of like watching it, like in interest, like seeing all the like little details and all the little, little egg, Easter eggs that are gonna be laid out because you kind of already, you know what happens, but. I'm looking forward. Like I said, my favorite part is going to be the second part. So that's what I mean. That's going to be my favorite part. I guess I didn't really have a favorite part of the first one. I was just enjoying it. I was just watching it.
I'd say
that's pretty dope.
Mine and Dennis's favorite part is pretty much the same. When it comes to my favorite part was when because Dennis had told me like before I even got to that part, like, oh, he kind of goes and sees his mother, kind of recharges and stuff, and then like within that. I thought that was like the coolest shit to me. His mom was rapping one of his songs and like Dennis was saying, it wasn't even on a CD. This was just like from memory that he forgot parts of the song. She was like, no, you said this, and like was rapping it to him. I was like, she should have started her own rap career.
You get exactly why he is the way he is.
She puts the battery in him.
Cootie says that. He goes, all the confidence that I've ever seen from this man. Was 100. Like, I never questioned it again after meeting her. Like, how much she believed in him. Of course he was going to believe in himself that much. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's literally at his lowest. That's when the beef with Doug Infinite happens. Yeah. He's starting to get hate from the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
He's not getting signed. He's like kind of struggling, kind of broke. And it's like all coming to a head. Like, is this going to work out or not? And
well, he had just got the MTV.
Right. And he was excited to tell her about that. And he like goes to her like, and she like literally fills him back up with energy. Like, he walks in pretty depleted into her apartment, I think it's an apartment.
Yeah. For me, what's wild to think though is that like nowadays when rappers are getting to that level where they're getting MTVs or about to get signed and shit, like they're pretty well off as far as like having a following and having money and shit like that. The change in like what a upcoming rapper was in the late 90s, early 2000s to what it is now, like you have to have a following. You have to be able to back yourself financially for the most part before someone really comes and starts signing you to big money and shit like that.
Because it would have been, going off your point, it might have been so much easier for him if he came up in this era.
Oh yeah,
because like people know it's the guy who produced H to the Izzo, Scarface, Beanie Siegel, Memphis Bleak. Like, he produced all these people.
Yeah, nowadays you're not really put into a box. Like most people, like most musicians.
If Metro started rapping, we wouldn't look at him sideways.
Yeah, most musicians especially in rap, like I feel like you're kind of looked at different if you don't have your hand in some of like your beat making. You don't have a hand in like you're doing your own bars, and like you got to be able to do it all essentially, or at least have your hand in it, have some type of like creative direction in it. And then I feel like that nowadays people will look at you sideways more if you're not, and if you're just the rapper, or if you're just this, like,
I got bars.
Yeah,
like, cool.
Yeah, what else are you doing? Like, and that's where it would have, to your point, would have benefited Kanye, where he's like, he's been doing it. He was trying to get his own bars off. He was making the fucking hottest beats and shit like that, and he would have thrived. He would have fucking, imagine if he would have fucking came up in this time and how quickly his star would have popped.
We wouldn't have been waiting.
He would have been a prodigy, essentially. Like somebody would have found that at a young age, because they said he was making beats from like 7 years old, or like doing instruments.
He was at No ID in Doug Infinite's house. When she bought him his stuff at like, what did they say? It was like sixth or seventh grade.
So like somebody would have saw that today's day and age. Somebody would have saw that and fucking sent him to some type of academy.
It'd been greenlighted real quick.
Yeah,
that's the reasoning for the Donda Academy. Is getting these kids who are like, you may not be the best like general learning kid, but you're really good at art. Like,
well, that's
you're gonna go there.
Yeah, I mean that's the same thing with IMG Academy. Exactly. Like the same thing with the basketball stuff. Like in any profession, like as far as like where there's superstardom and things of that nature, like they're just fast tracking kids to that because like, what's the point of doing all this?
You offer something to the world that's special. Like,
exactly.
I don't need you to take 4 years of social studies for you to be the best piano player we've ever seen.
And they're just fast tracking them, and that's where the the specialization in this day and age comes, where it's like, all right, well, we see the talent, get the talent, and get them making fucking money, and get them out in front of people, and fast track them in that direction as quick as we can.
Yeah.
I thought another part that was pretty cool though, about like how he was coming up in that time. He was making these beats for years, and then he walking just in downtown New York.
Oh yeah, he's walking
and he's like,
through the city.
He's like, I'm sure this guy doesn't even know me. Go ahead, ask him.
Yeah, he says that.
Like he's like, these people don't know me out here. And he's got his chain on and stuff.
Producers weren't getting that fucking type of fucking run back.
Correct. So like,
people didn't know what Just Blaze looked like.
You had to be a fucking mega producer and like really like, because who was it?
He was the mega producer.
Yeah, but like not at that time though. Like people weren't looking at him like that. Like he wasn't like, I'm talking about like a P. Diddy type dude. Like, yeah, you have to have like the money and everything with it. Like,
and Diddy was the face. He was in the videos, like
exactly.
Dancing.
Like it's not like he was. So it's like it was producers and people who had their hand, like everyday producers like that. They weren't really getting the play and getting the pub like that.
I mean,
they weren't getting put in the forefront of shit. It was the rappers that were getting all the shine.
They're in
the face man.
They're in Baseline Studios, and it's Ye, Guru, who's Jay-Z's recording, the guy who does Jay's vocals. His what do you call it?
His engineer.
Engineer, yeah. And Just Blaze and Kanye, of course, and they're all just sitting in there in like shooting the shit, and then Memphis Bleak comes in, and they're all like,
I remember that.
Like talk like. You couldn't get those three in a room now. Like,
no, it's too
outside
much
of the Grammys.
Yeah,
like,
it's too much politicking and shit like that. But it really does show, if you're really like a fan of rap and hip hop and you've been following it from the beginning, it does show that evolution, and like it does take you back to, it's like, damn, like this is what shit was in like
he's
99, 2000, 2001. That's how shit was for them. Like. And they really, like, you see the people who really paved the way for it, because there is a lot of fucking detail and a lot of unseen shit that you're not going to really get anywhere else.
You were a finished product back then coming out. Like, not a finished, like, you were the best you ever were, but, like...
Yeah, there was no
mumble rap in that. Like, you came out ready to go.
With shit. Yeah. With shit, and we're going to,
If we're putting... Because back then, signing bonuses, I mean, we're talking $1 million. People were getting album bonuses before they dropped.
We had to know you were going to make us our money back. Now it's a lot more, you cut out that middleman, and you put out your own stuff, and you can still get paid for that.
Bonuses.
No, but you still get paid what you were going to get paid, whatever the market demands of you, and then you're able to see the progression of an artist. To your point, back then, it's like you had to go through the progressions. No one sees it. You're this awesome superstar, and then if you fuck up, then it was a lot more in covering up fuck ups and shit like that back then.
Joe Budden, who I'm a huge fan of, but Joe Budden's first album, they put Pump It Up on the Too Fast, Too Furious soundtrack, sold 1.2 million, but on his album, he only sold something like 200,000 copies. 200,000 copies first week is an amazing number now. But in 2002, once they had pumped all this, that's
especially then, because
that's
you were
Just
buying,
Blaze beat.
Yeah, you're buying hard copies more regularly then too. There wasn't streaming then. So
no,
you're going out and getting the whole fucking album, and that shit stays in rotation for a year so long. And now music, new albums come out. There was an investment
when you bought someone's CD.
Now music comes out and it's a week. All right, what's coming out next week? Like, so back then
it's like every 3 days.
Exactly. Yeah,
you're
not like for the bigger artists, for the more established artists. You get their first week numbers, and then after that first week,
I get what you're saying.
It's more like, all right, well, then what's coming out next? Like, who's dropping after them to see what their first week numbers.
Even 2 Chainz, like, no one gave his album.
Well, yeah, I think 2 Chainz
sold 10,000.
2 Chainz is at a point where he's got money and he's got investments tied up in so much other thing that music is kind of like
third or fourth hustle.
Yeah. It's not really the main hustle for him anymore, and it can't be, because he's just kind of falling out as far as like
musically relevant. He's not musically relevant.
People don't search for fucking 2 Chainz albums. Like, if you're a fan of 2 Chainz, you would have gotten it. If not, like, that shit flew under the radar. Like, no one gives a shit. It's a nice little fucking check in his pocket. But
I didn't even know he dropped one.
Me either. It came up. You know how Apple will show you like new music when you go onto Apple Music, and it has like, oh, this so and so artist has a new single out or whatever.
I like the album cover.
Yeah, it's nice, but that's how I know. That's how I found that album. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know he was dropping one. I went listened to it. It was a pretty decent album. You know, it is what it is, and
it's a 2 Chainz album.
Yeah, yeah, but he's not the hot artist anymore. He's not. His time came and went.
It's crazy. Like, it's getting a little off topic here, but just like how fast like we move on from artists and stuff. Like, like
it's a whole different fucking ballgame.
I was thinking about that because bringing it back to the point of the documentary, like how many years does this span? Like they've been reportedly, or not reportedly, you see it, that they've been filming for 22 years, at least. Because they have stuff from 99, 98, and they have stuff from 2000. 22 years. There's been more time from now, or from Yeezus till now, than there was from College Dropout to Yeezus.
Wow.
But it doesn't feel that way.
Shit.
You think of like College Dropout is so far ago, and Yeezus is like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But it's 9 years old now. It's almost 10-year-old album.
When you put it in that perspective, that shit is kind of fucking wild. Weird. I mean, that's the Kanye that we kind of grew up with, though. That's the.
I mean, our run, literally freshman year, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, sophomore year, Watch the Throne, junior year, Cruel Summer, senior year, Yeezus. There's not a run like in our high school that's even. And he was already Kanye like before that. Oh, yeah. He just now. That was the second wind of his career.
Yeah, it was.
And now he's on
middle school was like
3 or 4.
Yeah, that's wild. He is. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. I'll keep on saying it. He's probably, in my opinion, he's the greatest artist of all time, and I don't really think it's that close. Like, you know, you could put people up there like Prince, like I guess like a Freddie Mercury and people like that.
The Beatles,
people that were like really like immersed into their like.
You changed music
exactly, but not only that, but like the hand that you have in your own music and shit like that.
That part
and the influence that you have in your own music.
He was a child. It wasn't his fault.
Even later, I mean,
Michael
Quincy writes Thriller.
Yeah, Michael Jackson again. He was more of a face. He was more of a voice.
He's a product.
He's a poster child in a sense. Not to take away from his greatness musically, but he is more of it's not like he was in the studio like it's engineering this shit and like
Michael Jackson is Drake. Like they are the same person.
Yeah,
their numbers are insane. What they mean to music, unquestioned.
But how much they're influencing their own music, we don't really know.
And when I think of greatest artists, those aren't the first 2 that come to my mind. Like that, I've always been more Prince than Michael Jackson. You guys know this. Like I've just
Prince is that guy though, so can't even be mad.
But I mean, it's a preference at that point. Like again, the people like Michael Jackson and Drake are gonna get more of the popularity vote because again, they're the face. They're the poster child.
They don't need my
exactly, but. The guys like Prince and like Kanye that are and the Freddie Mercurys and the Beatles and the people who are more immersed in their own music,
creating everything. They're like that's the sound of the singing.
That's to me where the artistry comes from because anybody can be a face and put on a fucking all right, I got to go do this for a little bit and then once I get backstage, then it's like all right, I'm back to just doing it. But when you're in your shit and like that is what you are living and breathing and you're still able to put out like. Masterpiece after masterpiece, regardless of whatever you think of the person.
And that doesn't go away.
Kanye has not put out a poorly produced album ever.
Jesus is King, production-wise.
You don't have to like the content, whatever, incredible. But the fucking production on that shit is fucking A1.
Because we've heard Yandi, which is the same beats with different lyrics. Yeah. And it would have won album of the year.
Yeah. For sure. But, content, I feel like people take content too seriously at times. Like they read into lyrics too much sometimes, and it's like if it's music, if it's good music, it's good music. There's songs that I like that I don't necessarily like the content of it, but that fucking beat is fucking
hard,
moving me. That's just making me feel some type of way, and I just boom. Who cares? I could give a shit about what they're saying.
And when you're saying content, you mean like the literal meaning behind.
Like just what the lyrics, whatever they're saying on there, because
I do think that content, it has to be good. It has to be structurally sound.
Yeah.
It's gotta go hand in hand. It can't just be.
It can't just be like it has to fit what like.
Can't just throw bullshit just on a track.
You have to be saying something, beat. Whether I agree with it or not.
Correct.
You have to be saying something.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, for me, like it doesn't even have to be much of substance. Like if you're on beat, if your cadence is right, things of that nature, then what you're saying, like what you're actually saying, I can kind of get get past, look over, whatever. I don't really care. But like
I put
that shit
more
needs to be sonically pleasing to my ear first before anything else.
Out of the three of us, I put the more of the value on
lyrics and shit. Yeah, for sure. What
is actually being said.
Yeah.
But even that, like, there's good instrumental albums that don't say anything.
Yeah, I love instrumentals.
Definitely a beat guy myself.
Yeah.
But that being said,
beats.
I'm looking forward to look at the first watch the first part of the Genius documentary.
Genius. Did you like the name?
Yeah.
Why they have the name?
The dog.
He goes, everybody in our family was smart. That's why we named him Genius.
So go ahead and check that out. It's on Netflix, part 1. Part 2 comes out, February 23rd?
23rd. And then the third part is March 3rd.
So they come out weekly. And, even if you don't like the guy, it is definitely someone who has been one of the more influential people in our generation. So
for sure.
And I'm sure there's going to be more shit to come out. And he's going to influence a lot more in the future. So
And Donda 2 in Miami.
Oh, yeah. Donda 2. But did you see that it's only going to be available on the STEM players?
Yeah,
it's
but
not gonna be
I bought mine. So.
Oh, did you? You're not going to be able to stream it. So
well,
I'm sure at some point
I can get it on my phone.
The SWAT's going to start fucking busting down the walls.
We got them, boys.
Straight through. If they made it through this roof, I'd be damned.
I mean, I feel like they
be
could.
Damned.
But moving on. What do we? What's next on the docket, guys?
Go ahead, Jacob. What we got next? Whoa, how did I do this?
You start us off, man.
Wake your ass up, boy.
Kind of time we're looking to get into.
Oh,
but
6:17. What you got?
I'm gonna go with this one first. Speaking about some sports here.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go with the Elon Musk shit.
Fine.
I mean, you did. All he needed was a nudge.
Swerve. I know nothing about this, so I would love to learn.
Well, I was waiting for you to send me the video of the interview, and you just never did. So
all right, so I don't know who the interview was conducted by.
So
but,
you got to fill us both in.
Well, I'll try. This is going to be Jacob's version of what happened in an interview.
Layman's terms.
All of this might be false, people.
Nah, it's not all false. But anyways, Elon Musk was being interviewed, and basically in the interview, he was talking about like how the society is currently working and what he think is going to like happen in the future. And Elon basically was saying that in a couple of years, humans will be
obsolete,
the minority when it comes to workplace jobs.
When he says a couple years, what are we talking?
He's saying like
by like 2050?
By like 2030.
Well, he's wrong.
I agree, but I'm just saying
there's 7 billion of us.
He's saying that
and how many of the 7 billion are actually useful? Like
doesn't matter.
It does matter.
He said the minority.
Well, okay, maybe not.
He didn't let me finish.
In the workplace.
In the work environment, he's saying humans will always be here. No doubt about that.
Oh.
He's saying working, like for instance, making cars, in fact, factory work and
assembly work,
and
stuff.
like even Walmart and Amazon. He's basically saying that there'll be bots to be able to do things more efficiently than humans will be able to do them. So what's the point of humans working in those fields?
Not to get too deep, but aren't we already at that point?
I mean,
we're getting there, and it's gonna get even more.
If we look at not even just robots, simple machines that do our jobs.
Oh yeah,
tools that do our jobs.
Self-checkout and fucking.
Yeah. I'm not even going to that. I mean, like literally, like how a computer sorts everything at your workplace. Like that takes the place of 100 people.
Yeah.
But
so don't they already?
I mean,
it already does, but it's going to get to a point where there's going to, like, again, in factories where they're just not going to have, people are not going to be in factories.
People
You're going to have
all.
one person or a group of people.
Manager.
If that. Yeah, and that. It might just physically know.
Do you remember Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yes. Yeah.
The Johnny Depp one?
Yeah. I like that one better than the
original
Gene Wilder one. That one was creepy as shit.
Exactly. That's why it's great.
No. But anyways.
When I was young, it wasn't creepy.
It was. Anyways.
When you watch her older in life, you're like, whoa.
Anyways.
Remember how Charlie's dad works at the toothbrush company, and his entire job is putting the caps on the toothpaste, and then he gets replaced by a machine that puts the caps on the toothpaste, and he doesn't have a job anymore. But then he gets a job at the end of the movie as the guy who fixes the machine.
Maintenance guy, yeah.
I mean, there's always going to be jobs for people.
Correct, but
less and less.
Imagine
basically what
there's
Elon
20
Musk
of those
was
machines
saying.
and one guy maintaining the 20 machines. Then it's going to be a numbers game at that point, and in factories and like just self-checkout stuff.
Look at Tim Burton throwing in some.
And that's basically what Elon Musk was saying. Like there will always be, for certain jobs, certain, doctors, surgeons, stuff like that.
Can't do that by robots.
There'll be certain things that will have to be done by humans.
Yep.
But in the workplace, and he's saying the number, basically, the number of humans in the world, 7 billion.
Something like that, yeah.
There's not going to be enough work for these people. So he's basically saying, like, because not everyone's a farmer, not everyone's a doctor. He's saying that it'll probably have to be a point where you, not even just the United States, but all of the world, the United Nations, has to come together and make, like, basically
an allowance.
An allowance for everyone. Like, everyone gets the same allowance because they're not going to be able to work at all. So,
this is coming from the same people that like hate socialism.
Yeah, I mean, if something's got to give at some point. But to your,
we can't have two energies going in opposite directions.
To your point though about the doctors, that I feel like robots and things will be able and farming and things of that nature, because that is more scientific than it is emotional. And I feel like the things that the AI or robots won't be able to do is the more emotional stuff, the more like
farming. I agree.
The fucking the psychological stuff. I mean, you could tell a robot, you can program a robot to perform surgery.
You can,
and they'll have it with more precision of a human hand.
Again, I'm a big movie fan, so I'm gonna make a bunch of movie references. Remember in iRobot when they're drowning, and he's like that robot, he made a call, and he's like I had a better chance of survival. Try telling that to that kid's parents, and it's like if a robot is in the medical field and he's performing surgery, like it's a 50-50 shot. Like they make a decision, like. To me, that's going to always be, and what people are comfortable with is going to always be the human element of that.
Yeah, but I feel
we're growing more and more
away from that, though.
We're growing more trusting of technology, but I still think if we're talking about like brain surgery, open heart surgery.
But listen, if the pitch is, hey, we'll give this robot, and they have this person, this doctor, they've been doing brain surgery for 20 years, however long, and they have 97% success rate. And we have another option. We have this artificial intelligence, same thing, not as much of experience, this, that, whatever, but they have a 99% chance of success rate. If you're in an emotional state, they're never going to give you 100% success rate, because then if they fail, then that's something they can come back and sue you on. So they'll always leave that margin of error. But if you're pitching that to a family that is emotional, distraught, that is not thinking all 100% there, they're gonna go with the one that is like, all right, well, that's a higher chance of success. Like, let's go with that. So that also plays into the emotion. And
I don't know.
He's driving a hard bargain.
I mean, I'm sure somebody would make that decision.
I feel like more people would than wouldn't.
I don't know.
I feel like more people would than wouldn't, because where do we have our distrust in? We distrust people more than anything.
No, I'm saying but the distrust of like, will it work? Once it's been working, I agree with you. But like getting that first million surgeries done is gonna be tough.
I don't know. I feel like the way people are lining up to do shit,
or they might
more convenient, and I feel like you're giving people the benefit of the doubt more than I am, I guess, in this conversation.
How many brain surgeries have we successfully done, you think, as humans?
No idea. Don't know the number.
Say 100,000.
Probably more than that. But sure, just to give it a round number.
I would tell you to check the numbers on that.
Just to give it a round number. This is not.
How many have we had with a robot?
Hey, but listen.
No. I'm genuinely asking.
Maybe 3.
Maybe a handful.
God only knows.
Yeah.
I'm saying once that number gets like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, people are gonna start putting more trust. Like, that thing keeps working. Who cares? Just make sure it gets done.
For instance, to go off your point, what if, for instance, you know that there is a lot of homeless in the United States?
Yes.
What if, and there's a lot of homeless that fill up jails and hospitals?
Yes.
What if when a homeless person comes in, the hospital sees they're not going to be able to pay for this. Why don't we test this out? Give them this option. For instance, for technology-wise, letting it be like, to get more practice.
I don't know if they're.
I don't know if they would do that, but
human trials.
Yeah, but I think they give human trials to like people who
volunteers.
Yeah,
but I'm saying, what if
the risk?
Sure,
what if
we're going by the book, but
what if it gets to a point where the
who's doing
the
shit
hospital's
by the book,
like, we're not gonna, because think about it.
Someone like that, you better.
Human trials, hospitals are still paying for that. What if it gets to a point where there's not that many jobs and homelessness is out of control? They're filling up hospitals. They have to have somebody do it.
I agree that it's going to start happening more. Yeah. I'm not fighting back on that. I'm just saying how quickly it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen.
We're not going to have most of our brain surgeons be robots by 2030. That's just not.
Well, maybe not brain surgeons, but to his point, like the
everywhere else, sure.
Simple stuff.
Taking the temperature, their vitals. That could be done. Maybe
we're fighting a minute point.
But that's conversational stuff. But I mean, it is.
And I trust robots more than the three of us.
Yes, you do.
I don't know if
I'm still having trouble trusting Disney, and I live fucking right by them. So.
Yeah, and I subscribe to Disney Plus monthly.
Same. Well, my dad does. So I fucking just.
So I don't know.
Hypocrite.
But even me, someone's like simple surgery, like we're gonna have your knee surgery done by a human or a robot. I'd be like, just give me the human. Like,
I mean, at that point,
if he fucks up, I at least got someone to blame.
But even at that point, it's like I'm sleeping. Like, y'all are gonna do what the fuck you're gonna do anyways.
Right, but if I have a choice, like, just give me the human.
No shit, they put you on anesthesia when they do knee surgery and shit.
I know how to. I get it.
But like LASIK is a laser.
Yeah, LASIK.
Like, where do we draw that line? Like
scary.
They're using tools. It's essentially a robot, and it's a human doing it.
Bro,
I would get LASIK in a heartbeat.
This shit is such a fine line.
Yes, I'm legally blind.
He wears contacts.
I was just saying if he needed LASIK or not.
My mom got LASIK, and she's gonna have to get it again.
My dad, got LASIK years and years.
Can't you
ago.
Hear the shit?
And my mom,
singeing and
she was awake for it.
I'm pretty sure you are.
You have to look at a certain place and then they get it to where your eyes can't move.
Does it hurt at all?
She said she didn't feel anything. You don't have nerve endings on your eye. Like, you can touch your eye all day and it's not gonna hurt. The only time it hurts is when you hit the cornea and your eye pulls back.
Oh god, that shit. Eye stuff is just gross to me. Like
eyes and teeth is my biggest thing. Like, I don't want to injure my eyes and I don't want to knock out my teeth.
Yeah, knocking them
mouth injuries are just like
not for that.
Teeth stuff is not fun.
I don't talk walking upstairs because of it. Dead ass. Like, I don't.
Fucking
I'm
trip up.
I'm not trying to open myself up to that.
Not trying to open those energies.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
It's in my control.
Oh my god, this future stuff is scary. Scary.
I would let a robot do LASIK though.
I mean, shit.
Once they the first 10 people
I haven't been to an eye doctor in a while. I don't think I need LASIK, but
yeah, I mean,
if that day comes,
pretty well. I'm sure it will. We'll all get old. Most old people have reading glasses at least.
Yeah.
If not, like, full on fucking.
Most of them have
triple layer fucking.
Have had LASIK and are using reading glasses.
So
a lot of people, your eyes, there's no fix. There's not an on-off switch to.
It's all Band-Aids.
Yeah, a lot of the misconception with LASIK is that you get it in your 2020 and you're good forever. Yeah. It's not how it works.
Not how most things work. Isn't that wild? How we sell shit, but it's usually never the way that people sell shit and fucking just. Falsely this is a lifetime guarantee, lifetime warranty, all this.
I mean, think about it. Germex says 99.999.
It's it's wild. It's wild how fucking people just operate.
I used Germex and I still got sick.
It's all right,
you motherfuckers.
Oh man, it's fucking. This world is crazy. It's a crazy place to be, but here we are living in it.
Is there any more from that article that I need to know about before I?
Well, I guess the main point
of self-checkout line.
The main point of that one is because he said also giving people allowances and shit like that, and what slippery.
Yeah, it was more of the topic, at least that I was.
We
bringing
give
up.
People allowances now.
Yeah, but it's such a slippery slope though.
Welfare, Social Security.
Is Wally what we're gonna fucking be? Is that what we're going towards? I hate that thought though. I hate the thought of just being a fucking.
Not everybody,
fat table lard.
But slowly we will get there.
Well,
but then you're gonna have to pick because the world is gonna be fucked anyways. So
we'll live on a different planet by that point.
Okay, so
how quickly we got into space exploration in the last 10 years?
What would you say then is we're
gonna go to a planet I've never heard of before in my lifetime.
When do you think the first space colonization group is gonna be sent out? The first group of people that
before 2040. We'll be building stuff on Mars or the moon before 2040. We need somewhere to put these people. Like,
piss my pants right now. I'm scared.
I'm not trying to be like the negative guy here, but like,
I don't think so.
Population growth ain't slowing down. It did this year. This is the first time where the population went down in the planet's history.
Really?
So,
there you go.
That's kind of scary.
Well,
I mean,
we might have capped all that this big blue ball in the middle of space is going to give us.
It was bound to happen though. Like
we were growing so fast.
Yeah, shit was moving too quick, dog.
And COVID kind of was
quick.
the speed bump that I think the world needed.
The little warning. It's
who
like,
knows? Maybe
stop right now.
Maybe all them vaccines y'all got was
What the fucking
slow population growth, huh?
Well, listen, something's gonna fucking kill us.
What?
Either
I'm just fucking around saying like what if
natural causes or a fucking vaccine or the fucking alcohol that we take in or the fucking blunts that we smoke or whatever. Something's gonna kill me.
No hangover pocket.
But yes, to answer your question, I think we'll be on another body, like another rock, with a colony being built within the next 20 years.
Wow.
They will start. They will hit ground.
Living that
They will
shit.
be at ground zero. It was going to be Total Recall.
Total Recall. Have you seen that movie? The Arnold Schwarzenegger one?
Yeah.
Did you see the Colin Farrell one
too?
The remake,
yeah.
That one.
That's Mars, right? That's Mars.
I don't know what it is, but I watched it not too long ago. It's not that bad of a movie. Looking back on it,
it's pretty good.
At the time, I was like,
but Blade Runner, like we're gonna be living that stuff, man.
Bro, that shit fucking. I don't like that.
Minority Report.
Well, it's bound to happen, so I guess I better get used to it.
If they are like, hey, once it gets built and like the bubble, and you just see people walking around like no air, and then they're like, all right, first billion people to sign up, get to go live on the moon. Let's go. You're never coming back.
I'm on the moon.
Don't care.
Yeah. Whatever. Ain't gonna live forever.
Right. Like if you talk about like living, and you talk about like life experiences,
living on the fucking
name
moon.
A bigger one than that. Like that's the ego trip that these billionaires get off on.
Yeah.
Like that's why they're taking all their rockets to the edge of the atmosphere, because like it's like all it is a dick measuring contest between these guys.
For real.
It's like the what's the Virgin Islands dude? Virgin Mobile? What's his name?
I don't remember his name, but he's all leathery and shit.
I want to say Neil for some reason. Neil.
It might be.
Neil.
But Bezos was like, I'm going to the atmosphere, and he was like fast tracked it. He's like, I'm going there first.
I'm doing it first. Damn. Ego trip. But that's
all of these guys. Elon Musk is. I mean, you saw Don't Look Up, right?
Yeah.
Like that guy is like an amalgamation of like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, like those type of guys.
Bezos guys. Yeah. I mean, that was a pretty good fucking movie, by the way.
I love that movie.
That movie definitely encapsulates all that we're talking about.
That's right America.
Now. It's a fucking bro.
I mean, Meryl Streep is playing Donald Trump. Like,
I feel like she's just playing politicians in general. Like, let's be real.
But
if you look through the history of fucking every president in the world, Donald Trump was not the first fucking douchebag. But they said that
that's who she's playing.
Donald Trump was not the first fucking douchebag. He was just the loudest fucking douchebag.
Right, but they're saying that they said that that's who she's taking.
I'm not a over here Trump supporter or fucking vouching for him or anything, but like I hate that it's just like this is where we draw the line on politicians. This is when they started being bad. It's like no, they've been fucking shiesty, fucking snakes, fucking shitting on us for fucking ever.
For sure.
He just happened to fucking talk about it and fucking just be a fucking asshole on top of it because there's Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, people just didn't like him.
Yeah, like, oh man.
He was the first celebrity. Well, I wouldn't say the first celebrity.
Ronald Reagan was an
actor.
JFK was an actor too before he was the president.
JFK was also like
a playboy,
a ladies' man.
Boom! I mean, he was a good-looking guy,
and his brain has still been missing for 50 years.
Oh, I did see that.
It's not missing. I know where it is.
Where is it at?
Did you see the video?
It's everywhere. We all got a piece of it. If you were there, you.
Like, but it was only that's what I'm saying. Like,
it was only like this part of his head. Though.
Huh? Have you seen the video?
I haven't seen the whole thing, but
his brains get blown out.
Not his whole head though.
His whole head comes off.
Oh shit! I thought
she is holding the back of his skull. I thought it was
just
brains.
like a fucking part of his head.
No, you don't see this man's face. It is gone. His face is obliterated.
I know where it's at. It's everywhere.
That's why, like,
to the front row of the parade.
The movie Parkland, incredible movie, by the way. It's about the hospital, the Parkland Hospital, where they rush him to.
Mm-hmm.
Zac Efron's the doctor who has to like try and save Jay.
So, like, tell him like this ain't working though.
What the fuck is this?
Literally,
this is on my operating table.
Well, because the communication is like regardless, but she's like walks over like during the surgical tray. You can't get Jackie Onassis out of there.
Yeah.
Like they're not trying to do that. And the Secret Service, they're all standing there watching while he's trying to bring the president like back to life, get a pulse, do something. I don't know.
Wow.
Anyone seen the rest of his brain?
She's literally she walks over to like the tray where they put things. You know when they do surgery, the little silver tray, and she's holding like pieces of his like brain and skull.
Oh my god!
And he's like, the nurse takes it and she's like, "Thanks." Like,
what do you want me to do with this?
Like,
wow.
Man, bro.
The video is upsetting.
Well, there you have it, folks. We know where it went.
But people like, because his I guess grave got
robbed.
There's like a conspiracy around like if he died that actual day or he died like a few years later, like he was just brain dead and like a vegetable state essentially
with no head.
Basically, I mean, you've seen pictures and videos of people who have like half a skull who are.
Yeah, but you guys were just saying his whole head was blown off. If his whole head was blown off,
like this part.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. So still a part of his brain is still there's still a part of his brain right here.
There is still a part of his brain.
So there you go. That's what we're talking about then.
Okay, well there's the conspiracy that his grave was like messed with.
There you go.
A couple years after.
Well, we're still trying to figure this shit out. We ain't no fucking.
And then all the Kennedys have had bad luck. They all got.
His brother got assassinated too.
Yeah, on the campaign trail.
Damn.
I just don't like the Kennedys.
Put a hit out on
Ted Kennedy was the last. I remember everyone was there. They had Barack, George Bush, both George Bushes, the Clintons. Like, you know how famous you got to be for all those people to show up to your.
They were the fucking Kennedys.
Yeah.
They were the first royal family.
They were.
Them Kennedys, rich folks.
They fucking make shit happen, baby.
But yeah, episode.
We're done.
You guess, motherfuckers.
We're done.
We're done. We donesies.
Jacob calling it short. We had a lot of conspiracy talk. It's too much.
Yeah, we were gonna go way too far into it. It's too deep.
It's too much for my head to wrap around it. Fuck.
Yeah, Eric is scared. He's shaking his little space boots.
Don't come after us, Reddit.
Nope.
Reddit's a scary place.
Go ahead. Come after us. Throw our name out there.
No.
Reddit's a scary place.
But thank you for listening to the No Hangover podcast. As always, you can find us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, Google Play. Check us out on YouTube for the visuals. Run up those likes and subscribes. Yep. Just got a haircut, got to see my beautiful face. Follow us on Instagram at No Hangover Podcast. Follow us on TikTok, No Hangover, or No _Hangover.
On TikTok.
Boom.
Is that it?
Deuces.
Is that everything? Everybody love everybody. See y'all next week. Peace.